After love, nothing causes as much emotional turbulence as money. Stay tuned. This episode of the Dollar Saving Divas podcast is brought to you by RentTheRunway.com.
You'll find more than 200,000 pieces and 400 designers in the Rent the Runway closet. For any event you might be attending, formal, cocktail, or festive, you can get 4 or 8 day designer rentals for a fraction of the price. Anything you want, one flat price.
And when you click the link on our Dollar Saving Divas Facebook page, you'll save even more and help keep this podcast free.
Look great and save money too at RentTheRunway.com.
Leslie, today we're going to talk about some rules of smarter shopping. And most of this information came from AARP, so shout out to AARP, because cyber sales, marketing ploys, it's just retail has gone crazy. So we really want to find out how to get some good bargains. Now, remember this? Remember the old Kmart blue light specials on aisle 10?
And
everybody goes
that.
Running. And that's like the olden days.
Yeah.
So nobody does that anymore. So just...
And it's a shame.
It is. Because I always say that, remember the blue light special at Kmart?
And now people don't remember that anymore.
Nope.
Yeah, so we got to stop saying that, I guess.
I guess that means we're old. Well, researchers, I thought this was very interesting and makes sense. Researchers have identified pleasure centers in the brain that activate when we spend and light up more when the price is right. Well, I must be just lit up.
You
My
are
brain must
always
be
lit
up. I am not always lit. That was just not necessary at all.
You left the door wide open.
I know I did. Well, we learned very well from our moms and dads to how to shop for everything from groceries to cars. But Americans spend, now listen to this, we're the world's greatest consumers, spending $4 trillion.
I feel like a great consumer.
Annually on consumer goods. Isn't that amazing? But you know what? There's so many things out there. It can be very confusing. I mean, I want to go in the grocery store and I just want to buy some toothpaste. Well, now when I go, you've got the Crest and the Sensodynes and the Colgates, and you got this one with peroxide whitening, and that one with tartar control, and this one baking soda, and that one advanced whitening. I just want some plain old toothpaste. But you got to check the pricing and all that kind of stuff, too.
And the other thing is, and I do this, I'm guilty of this, I go online and I look up whatever I'm looking for and see what the ratings are. And you get into reading the reviews, and then you go to one site and it's rated highly here, and then you go to another site and it's not rated as highly and the reviews are different. And then you just kind of get sucked down the rabbit hole of the online reviews, and you can't make a decision. It's like then I'm paralyzed. It's terrible. So at some point you just have to go forth and spend.
Go forth and spend. It's kind of like Star Wars.
Yeah, get the best information that you can. Look at the reviews. Find out what you're really interested in. Like what is the main thing you're trying to accomplish with this product? Go find the first best option that meets that and buy it.
Well, you know what? And
move on with your life.
Yeah, that's damn sure. Well, another thing you can do is, and speaking, along that is, what do you really need? All this stuff has, there's so many ingredients when you're looking at food things. I mean, there's just, let's say you're going to buy, a refrigerator, or you're going to buy a cell phone. I mean, how about a printer? It does 20 different things. I really just want it to print black and white and color.
I don't need all that.
The 20 other tasks it does. That's when more is not necessarily better, because how about the phones? They come out with a new phone. It's just to make you buy a new phone.
I know.
There's not much difference between the 5, the 6, the 7, the S, this, the plus that. What do I need? I need a phone that can do email, take some video, take some pictures. Do some texting. Yeah. I don't need all those bells and whistles. I just
bought a new laptop a couple weeks ago, and the guy is telling me, it does this. He's like, no, you don't want this one. You want this one, because if you're gaming, and I looked at him like, if I'm gaming, look at me. Do I look like I'm gaming? I want to send an email.
Exactly. And how many times, even like our cars, you don't use half of the functions anyway. My mom just got a new car. Okay, my mom's 91 years old. It would take her years to figure out how to use all the bells and the whistles. So she didn't get a car with all of them, because she just wants a car that you go in and she didn't know how to work the radio. And that is pretty standard now. It's, but obviously she didn't know how to work the radio, so she didn't have the radio on. And I said, Mom, why don't you have the radio on? Well, I don't know what these little buttons are. And the same thing with the automatic lights overhead in the car.
Yeah. She
didn't know why the light wouldn't go off. Well, you had to kind of, believe it or not, this wasn't. You just had to push a button to make it go off. So really, I mean, and you don't need all the bells and whistles. No, absolutely not.
Well, the other thing that we're seeing now is everything is organic. You need organic food, and you pay more for that organic label. So I think it's great in a lot of cases to buy the organic, but be careful that you are you're just not wasting your money. So not everything has to be organic. For instance, there are certain foods that you want to buy the organic. Peaches, apples, strawberries, celery, spinach, tomatoes. We know that they use a lot of pesticides on those. And so it is safer to buy organic in that case. But if you're buying something in a box, do you need organic sheets on your bed? I don't think so. I mean, sometimes you're just paying more.
I've never heard of organic sheets.
You're just paying more for that label. The other thing you got to watch for is a lot of things will say natural. Like it's all natural. That really doesn't mean anything. The FDA
that just means like no preservatives, but that doesn't mean
the FDA has no official definition for that. So they can say natural, and you may be paying more for it, and it really doesn't mean anything. So the perception is it's healthier, but it may not be. But there's definitely a markup on that. So if you're going for organic, like stick with the certain fruits and vegetables, you can buy organic. But for other things, be very careful because you're paying money and you don't really need to. You're paying extra.
Well, the other thing I know you kind of were talking about this is our rankings of things. Now everybody goes on and looks at, Amazon and Google rankings and Yelp and CNET. Well, all those social media things, they really aren't relevant because somebody could maybe have 5 reviews and they're all 5s, but they may not be accurate at all.
Yeah.
So the best thing is to say most of these online ratings are just low scores. They just they're really not accurate. The best thing is the old Consumer Reports. So that's the best thing. Also, Test Freaks and TestSeek are good things, but the best thing is go to those consumer goods testing experts.
Yeah.
That's the best
or
thing
ask
to
your
do.
friends, too. Ask around.
Exactly.
Somebody who's actually used it that you trust.
Well, yeah, and used it because sometimes they just got it and it works great. Well, how about 7 years later?
You see a lot of those reviews. I just opened the package and I love it. Well, you don't know if you love it yet.
Exactly.
There are a lot of places to buy everything now, too. So, pick where you're going to buy your stuff. So if you need it today or if you want to actually touch it and look at it and try it before you buy, old-fashioned brick-and-mortar store is probably your best bet. But online shopping, though, for selection, deals, and just convenience, if you don't need it immediately, although Prime Now, if you're an Amazon person, you can get it within 2 hours, but
with a drone delivered to your door, is that
I haven't had that yet.
Those drone things are weird.
So, so if you don't need it immediately, and online is great for the selection and just the convenience of it. And if you're buying in bulk, the warehouse clubs are the way to go. Costco, Sam's Club, all those places if you're buying large quantities of things.
Well, also you need to make sure that a bargain is really a bargain. I mean, how many times have we talked about, the sales are on. The sales are on all day, every day. There's always a sale. So, there's not that perception that if you think it's a scam, it's probably a scam. And sometimes, there was Consumer's Checkbook looked into several national retailers and found out that as many of 8 to 9 of those items tracked were almost always on sale. So a few products were on sale 44 out of 44 weeks at like Sears and Kohl's and Best Buy. So really a sale.
It's not really a sale at that point.
It's not a sale.
It's just the price.
The first thing you should probably do is check prices online at sites such as Price Grabber to verify that a steal is actually a steal. And if a sale is ending, wait a few weeks because it's going to be back on again. I literally, unless you really need it, wait because you might be able to get get it even less expensive. So watch that a sale is truly a sale. Well, the other thing is we want to shout out to AARP. They have this survey. So if you'd be interested in taking this survey, go on to our Facebook page, Dollar Saving Divas, and Find out if you're a wild spender or if you're a penny pincher. Take this survey for us and check out your scores and see where you rank. This episode of the Dollar Saving Divas podcast is brought to you by renttherunway.com.
You'll find more than 200,000 pieces and 400 designers in the Rent the Runway closet. For any event you might be attending, formal, cocktail, or festive, you can get 4 or 8-day designer rentals for a fraction of the price. Anything you want, one flat price.
And when you click the link on our Dollar Saving Divas Facebook page, you'll save even more and help keep this podcast free.
Look great and save money too at renttherunway.com. Thanks for listening to the Dollar Saving Divas. If you have ideas for an upcoming episode, we'd love to hear from you. Just head to our Facebook page at facebook.com/DollarSavingDivasCBus and share your comments. Our podcast is available on iTunes, iHeartMedia, or your favorite podcast player. Thanks again for listening.
This is Ashley.
And this is Trevor.
And this is Trevor from Elite One Fitness.
And this is Brett. In each week's Today's Health and Wellness podcast, we spotlight health and wellness stories you'll find in the Central Ohio Health and Wellness magazine, on Today's Health and web pages and social media, as well as extras you'll only hear in the weekly podcasts.
And each month, Trevor and I bust some gym and health myths to help motivate you to become stronger and healthier.
Oh yeah, you know it. The Today's Health and Wellness podcast is a joint effort of the Central Ohio Health and Wellness magazine and Today's Health.
Subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, YouTube, or your favorite podcast player.
Circle270media.com.